we are live. Let me try stream. Oh, there's my volume. Is music still playing? I feel like I'm a little bit quiet, but I'm like listening back. Dang. Wait, let me try this. Alright, check. Test 1 2. Yo. How are people doing? Dang. Yeah, well, welcome back to the Masterclass series. Oh, thanks, Sean. Dang, man, my man's was my 100 sub, 99 sub. Good to see you still around at 20k, man. Somewhat busy. Yeah, well, glad y'all could make it. Glad y'all could make the, first reappearance of the WattKeys Masterclass series, which was supposed to happen last week, but I was a little bit not feeling well. So, unfortunately, we're here today. It is a little bit strange, though. Last year when I did Masterclasses, I had to choose through the submissions that I got, because I can't do like 7 videos in one sitting. This year, I only got 2. Over 2 weeks. So, if you ever wanted me to review your playing or to teach you piano, now's the time. When we get next. Good night. It's 3 a.m. for you. Dang. Oh wait, Braze, you're around. Okay, hold on. One sec. Let me get this all set up. Just cause I haven't done this in a little bit. Do I have mods online? Are any of my mods on? Please? Hello? Alright. Well, let's do this. Give me 1 second, team. If you give me 1 second, you might be rewarded with playing before we start. I'm messing. Maybe not. Wait. Move. Okay. Alright, sick. Does that affect this as well? Sorry, I'm reconfiguring some of my Discord settings, just so that, as some of you may know from last year, the way we do this is I will be hopping on the Discord call with the people who have submitted the videos, who I will be reviewing, and we will be teaching that way. Alright, sick. So, for those of you who are who are going to be reviewed, y'all know who you are. You will be yeah, you should be able to join the voice channel in the server. Yeah, so that's yeah. You should do that soon. You should do that actually right now. There should be a new one called video reviews, and I'll be hopping on it in a little bit. But anyways, let's chat a little. Yeah, Discord perks. Y'all should join the Discord. Honestly, everyone should join the Discord, because the Discord is where things happen. Yeah, rip the mods. What, they will start taking lessons again? What do you mean? Alright, you're here? Sick. Alright, I will hop in a sec, and we will get started in a little bit. But first, I gotta I don't understand why my rotator in the corner, like, never works. But then again, I am probably going to reconfigure my stream layout so it doesn't look quite so tacky. Because it's like kind of mid. But anyways, I should get started because I have nothing to talk about. Because I'm not caught up with any seasonals. I'm not working on any new projects. Oh yeah, there's a one thing. Who's going to Anime Expo in LA next week? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Because if y'all are going to be there, we should meet up. We should do something. We should hang. Come meet me in person. We can talk about anime and piano and any piano, I guess. So if you're going to go, let me know. That's all I gotta say. Alright, anyways, let's get started. Let us begin. I am going to have to change windows. I am probably not going to be very active reading chat, so you'll have to excuse me for that because I, have to teach. But let me change. At least put you guys on my phone so that if anything happens, I can be aware. Let's see. All right. Then let's get started. I'm gonna pause my music. So my audio might be a little bit weird this stream because I'm like redoing like a whole bunch of audio settings just for because I started getting new extensions and stuff like that. So, but let's see. All right, we do this. And we do this. Sick. Alright. And I'll do this. For some reason you're very worried? Well, our first review comes courtesy of Braze. Is that how we pronounce it? Braze Anime Piano. So let's hop into call. Wait, Braze, you should be able to see the video review voice chat at the bottom of the channel in my Discord. I think. Well, definitely for sure. You want to hop in real quick, we can get the show on the road. Oh. Alright. Wait, can we just ping this man? Yeah, there it is. Alright, let's see. I'm also trying to configure everything so that so that I can also communicate over Discord with the people that I'm working with. Let's see. Alright. Wait, for people in the server, wait, can you hear me and like see everything okay? Like, can we hear the piano and stuff like that? Sick. And you can see the screen as well. I'm not like things aren't flipped because Discord flips everything for some reason. Sick. Now I'm just gonna wait for Braze to show up in the server. I'll just keep playing until he shows up. Sick. He won't be able to join VC. management. My wire management is like absolutely garbage. Braze can't join the VC, then I guess I'll just review his playing without his input. Anyways, how hard is Braze Shine compared to other stuff? I don't know. It's Braze Shine is like weird because like some of the chords are like obnoxious, like this sort. And then you have the like that part is a little bit tricky, but I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit straightforward, but it's very nice. I like it a lot. Anyways, let's begin. Let us begin. All right, Braze. Unfortunately, can't join up, but we will take it away nonetheless. Where is this? All right, sick. Let us begin. It appears that this is open now, and I need to pull up Unravel on my tablet so that I have it. So it is unfortunate. It is most unfortunate. The first thing that we're reviewing today is Animens' Unravel, but that's okay. That's okay. We live, we endure. Wait, where did I save Unravel on my tablet? I literally don't remember. That's how little I care. If you haven't seen it yet, I made a video on how to learn Animens' Unravel. You should go check that out. Empty maid outfit? What the frick? Oh! Shoot, the clip wasn't in. Why are y'all always trolling me? Alright, let's start Unravel. Let me know how the volume is. Yeah, if we can see the hands right from the top down angle. Alright, sick. Let us begin. This sounds like a slightly different version than Animens is. I don't know if you're simplifying. You know, first thing I want to note, again, if you're simplifying is one thing, but the second thing, but if you're not, some of the notes are a little bit erroneous, I'll just watch out, just because. Right, like that carries the melody, and especially, I feel like my arrangement philosophy, or when it comes to like what I'm playing, like the opening, for me, has to sound pretty similar to the original, because that's what people remember. So that's why I would just check the notes. But beyond that, right, I will watch out for this jump right here, right? You want to land on the pinky, but like not too hard, right? You want to land and give it a little bit of emphasis, which is good, but you're giving it a little bit too much, right? It sounds like it's competing a little bit with the or whatever. See, like I hear very prominently the G, boom, boom. When what I want to hear is, right, I want to hear this little motif down here, and this is just a little bit of like rhythmic emphasis almost. It also looks like a smaller keyboard, so that might be part of it too. But yeah, the keyboard only goes down to a C. I would say, like, right, like this sort of motion, especially if your hands can reach it, right, it's probably a little bit better to keep your hands, like, over top all the keys, right, or, like, at least so that you're making less movement. You're coming, like, down, and then up, and then back down, which is contributing a lot to that, like, sort of movement, in and out, but also up and down, right, and so up and down movement is causing this this big like push into the G whenever you come out. So where are we? Right. So keep the hand a little bit more still, and I think you'll have a little bit more control over the tone that you're trying to produce. A little bit of rhythm. And again, notes. Yeah, we'll just check the notes there again. That's what you're doing. With most of these things, right? Like you're like watching, you're reading the score because you're making notes and annotations in the score, or at least I'm doing it mentally. But for a lot of you guys, you also need some technical assistance, so I need to watch the video as well. So I'm trying to do two things at the same time. By the way, the video volume's okay for everyone. We can hear it okay. We can hear it fine. And also my comments, like everything's about right. I hope. Let me pull this up to make sure. Alright, sick. Yes, so this sort of thing, right, obviously you're not playing, right, you're truncating some of the notes and you're, like, adjusting it a little bit, but you still don't want to come so high, right, because I can go much faster and with a lot more control if I'm really close to the key, right, as opposed to, I like the thought, right? The thought is that I'm dropping once and I'm playing a bunch of notes, right? So in one movement I play a whole bunch of things, right? And that's applicable at some points. And you should be doing that at the beginning of like some of these groups, right? Because 1 2 3, 1 2 1 1 2 1 2, right? But every single time you come up too high, oh my gosh, my camera. This is why the donation goal is there. I need some equipment. Anyways, you come up too high, right? So then you're like physically unable to mash out the chords, right, that you need to, so or whatever, right? And if you come up too high, then you only get kind of like what you're doing. Yeah, it is, and that's what I mean, right? When you bring up your arm, right, that's coming up too high, then you're unable to use the rest. What are you playing? Oh yeah. So I would say make sure, right, even with these sorts of things where the notes are very fast, you still want to practice slowly and make sure that you're counting out the actual rhythm. There's like the rhythm's written for a reason, right? So I can't believe I'm teaching how to play Unravel. I thought I already did this. Come on, guys. How did I get baited into doing this? Right. So every note that I'm playing is controlled. It's controlled, and I'm like, how do I say? Able to add emphases where I want to add emphases, and it's all coming from the finger, right? So my fingers only go, right, and it's like one movement down, right, a little bit of rotation perhaps. Right. So you don't have to. This is necessarily like just. Because I understand the mindset, right? You get to this point and you're like, fast, right? These notes are fast and I'm playing at a fast tempo, so then... Well, now it doesn't sound like much, right? It sounds like we've lost a melody. So, remember, even when things are fast, there's still a rhythm to it. And we don't want to go too fast. Yeah, it sounds like a rolled chord. This here. Yeah, I think you're okay. First, let's talk about the A section. You're omitting certain notes, right? Which is fine, right? I'm all for omitting notes and making it a little bit more playable for yourself. But yeah, what would I say? Like, like I can hear the main melody, and it sounds like you're rolling everything else very nicely, right? So I don't have too much to say about the A section, and I think the ideas are fine. I would just say, like, I feel like a lot of people, and this is not just again a comment on this video, it's just in general. A lot of people conflate like wrist movement like this for musicality, and I'm not saying that you're doing that here, but I'm just making a point. So with some of these things, or whatever, right? Your wrist, at the end of the day, right? There's always an element of expression, right, that comes in how you move your hands and how you move your arms, right? But there's also playing economy, and I think when you're starting off, you should be a little bit more concerned about the playing economy first, and then worry about the expressiveness, about your gestures, right? So I think starting off here, like, again, this isn't an issue, it's not affecting the tone detrimentally, but I think learn how to perhaps a little bit smaller of a movement. Or whatever it is, and it'll be pretty good. Yeah. So let's keep going. Oh, this thing. I'm actually okay with the left pinky here, right? I think, like, yeah, we can say that that's like an issue that's coming out Tori a few times, but like here in this section, because of like it's so separated between like the left pinky and the top voice, that it's like I can hear the top voice fine. So it's like if you want to bring it out a little bit more, I'm not going to say that that's like an issue. Whereas before, right, it was competing, right? Which is why I brought it up. But you again, right? If it's a lack of control, we've already brought it up once. We don't need to bring it up again. I'm a little bit confused by this section, I'm gonna lie. I'm trying to think, right? Because it sounds like I can't tell if you're like truncating, or you're like smushing notes together, or you're like smearing. So if you're, I'm going to assume that you're like omitting some notes, right, instead of smearing, because I'm going to assume to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm just trying to think like which notes would be best to omit, but I don't know. Yeah, because you're right, the left hand is a little bit tricky here, because oh, I remember when I played this for the AR Live Learn, it reminded me of the Beethoven's third piano concerto, third movement, the rondo. So yeah, but I would just take it slowly and just like give it another look if you ever come back to it, right? And make sure the notes are accurate. I would practice. Yeah, I can't think of a wieldy fingering at the moment. Yeah, I would recommend what I'm doing right now, but like I don't know if you have like again the dexterity to do it. So if you're going to omit notes, I would think more about which ones you're going to omit later. Maybe like or something like that. Or something like that. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. Oh, it's Will. Hey, Will. What's up? And hello, Justin. Thanks for stopping by. Notobo. Thanks for stopping by, too. Not a show. Notice show? Notice how? I've never played that etude, so I don't have any tips. I'm sorry. Alright, let's continue. All right. So I think you're doing like a. I'm gonna take some water. You're doing a fine job of like, you're condensing the notes because you don't have as many keys, and so you're just like repeating notes, and also some of the chords are being repeated at the top. That's totally fine, right? We're playing an arrangement of anime music. Might as well play your arrangement of the anime music. But the one thing that I have to say is, I don't particularly like the way that you're dropping down from above, right? So I talked about this perhaps before on this channel, and I probably will again in the future and make a whole video on it. But coming from above, right, when we're playing the piano, means that you're lifting your hand up and then you're just like dropping it onto the key, right? It creates a very like articulate sound sometimes, right? But it gets harsh very quick and it gives you like very little control. It's far better to go into the key, right? And I've talked about this before. This is like a concept of pushing into the key, pushing weight into the key. Because again, if you just like slam onto the key, which is essentially what's going on here, right? Then you get a very, again, harsh, uncontrolled sound, especially if you're playing on an acoustic instrument. Whereas if I'm putting weight into the key, so my arm weight, my body weight, right? I'm pushing into the key like this, right? Then it becomes a more warm tone. I can even distribute some of the weight out sideways, right? And it becomes a much more controlled tone. So that's my main comment, right? Like you wanna feel like you're gripping the keys a little with this, and like feel like your body weight is like sinking into the keys, almost like you can lift yourself up off the key, off their bench, right, on the keys, kind of like that. So, okay, right, kind of like. I don't know what I'm playing, but basically like that, as opposed to, right, what you're doing. And it also reduces your accuracy in certain instances too, because then you're coming from above and you have to land a little bit weird. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense, right? And that's applicable like across all fortissimos, all fortes, like these sorts of things, or most fortissimos. Sometimes you do want that attack, but that was not one of the plays. I'm a little bit confused by the I would say, again, since you're playing so quickly, and again, this is like a finished product and not like you're gonna practice it or whatever, too much more. Just like remind yourself that you have a little bit more time than you think, right? Right. But like these notes are written to all be distinct and have the same length, and you're feeling like you have to keep pushing forward. You're feeling like you have to keep driving the tempo forward. Or that you're like playing catch up with something, and so as a result, you're smearing all the notes there easy, right? And then like when you jump, you feel like you don't have enough time, so then you jump poorly, right? And it sounds very uneven. It sounds very uneven. Whereas if we took the time, right, and we felt like we're not like being rushed or we're being pushed by the tempo, then. Of course, that's a matter of a little bit of practice too, but even in performing, right, you have to kind of remind yourself, I need to, like, I said this many times before, feel like you're sinking into the tempo as opposed to playing catch up with the tempo. You don't want to feel like you're running after a tempo, you want to feel like you're falling into the tempo. Even when you're playing really fast things, you want to feel like you're relaxing a little bit into the tempo. Of course, there's times and places where feeling tense, but like overall, it's far better to feel like you're relaxing into the tempo and sinking into the tempo as opposed to pushing forward and trying to catch up to it, because then it results in like a little bit of like frantic playing like this. So just take your time, just breathe, right? It's okay to perform this a little bit more slowly too, right? I've said this many times before. Over the overraining piano. What's up? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it, man. Next page. Yeah, I feel like the left hand is a little bit loud. The left hand is a little bit loud here. I would prefer if there was like a little bit more. Right, I'm thinking primarily about two things, right? I like the fact that you do play this bass note a little bit more loudly because it has to ring throughout the whole measure, right? But the reason why I think partially the reason why I think you're playing so loudly is because everything else is still loud too. When the dynamic drops to like a mezzo piano or so, or something like that, when everything drops back off, then suddenly this doesn't need to be quite so loud in order to make it through the whole measure, right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I promised myself I wouldn't play Unravel, and here I am playing Unravel. But same thing, right? And now we're thinking about the top notes too, the important notes. Right, like I want to hear these notes that are like on top, that aren't necessarily the melody yet, because like I'd rather hear that, like that's more important. But like this is leading me there, right? So this. I'm playing random notes. Right, kind of like that. Right, you hear the difference, right? One. This is softer, but it's a little bit weightier, and then the rest of the left hand is very quiet, right? So it doesn't compete, and then I'm able to keep my thumb and index very soft, and then like my pinky and my ring finger are able to be loud enough that it stands out. Kind of like what you're doing here, but a little bit more, right? With a little bit more clarity and a little bit more smoothness. Yeah, same thing here. Your piano is also very bright sounding, so I think that's contributing to that as well. I'm not sure which notes you cut there, but that's okay. Yeah, so this is another place where weight into the keys, right? It seems like you're focusing a lot on your left hand, which makes sense because it's doing all the runs and stuff like that. But do spare some attention for the right hand too, right? Because you want to feel, again, like you're gripping the keys. And I think that's part of the reason why the left hand is a little bit louder than the right. It could also be the piano again, but... I like the simplification because this matches the original guitar. Yeah, with it. Right. I think this is, again, a similar concept. You want to... Not so much from above. Let me watch your hands here. Yeah, I think your left hand looks fine. I'm just trying to see where I am in the score. Because you're playing something a little bit different. Yeah, basically whenever you come down, right? You're landing with like a little bit of a thud, right? But I would prefer a little bit more finality. Again, like a little bit of arm weight to go into it. And it's not just go down, right? But the fact that you go down into key provides the spring, the energy that you need to spring back up to the next jump, right, like that. So if my wrist goes down, my arm goes into the key, right, I can allow my fingers, right, allow my wrist to then come back up, and my fingers to almost like close on the key a little bit, like grab it a little bit, not like really snatch at it, right, we don't want to do that for this, but a little bit of this, right, to spring me back up to the next note. I'm not springing up and then over, I'm springing directly to it, right, and so I would like to see a little bit more of that, just so that it makes your playing a little bit more efficient, and also gives this a little bit more assertion. And same comment for these octaves where you're jumping. Right, it's not just right up and down like this, but one movement. Think of it as in like one motion, right? I go down once, and it hits all three, right? It's almost like if you're skipping a stone across the pond, right? You throw it on on the side, and it kind of like hits like the water here, and then it like comes up, and then again. But it all comes from one motion, right? One swing produces all the skips, and so in one swing, I hit all my octaves, right? I do have to come back up a little bit, right? But it's like the way that my hand goes down into this first note produces enough momentum going this way that when my wrist comes up, I'm already traveling. And then the same thing here. It's a little bit of this up and down again, but just over. And you think of it in one motion, it becomes very fast. Like that. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I'm asking, does that make sense when I'm not on a chat? But I ask, does that make sense when I'm teaching a lot? Because I want to make sure things make sense. Alright. I think it needs to get a little bit softer here. Right, we need a little bit of contrast. The whole thing is a little bit like, we're riding a fortissimo, and then we never like come down, right? In order to have a roller coaster, you need highs and lows, right? If everything's a high, then you're just like kind of like coasting at the top, right? And everything just feels like the same. But if you have lows, right, then the highs feel really high, and the lows feel really low, right? Even if you spend a lot of time in one of those areas. So, I've read them a little bit, yeah. Again, don't feel so rushed. Don't feel so rushed. It sounds like you're pushing a lot. It is here especially, a little bit softer. Yeah, it looks like your hand is just kind of like, like clutching at keys. It looks like you're a little bit like confused about what you want to do with your hand right here, right? So let me help you. I'm like, you look like you don't know what you're doing. Let me teach you the way. Let me show you the way. The whey protein isolate. Never mind. Okay. I'll keep going. Anyways. Right. Okay. So what you want to do, right, is think about this, playing this as though you had your entire hand just like over top the key like this. It's the day one, right? Right, this. Because there's no reason for your hand to stretch or contort in any other way. Yes, sir. Whey protein isolate. I love that joke. Every time I say it, my girlfriend like makes a face at me and discourages me from saying it more. But I need to show people the whey protein isolate. You know? Wait, I can zoom. I can zoom on the camera. Is that WattFlex 2.0? No, I'm messing. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my hand over top these keys, right? So you'll notice, right, that, and I'm assuming that your hand can reach this too, because your hands look like they're big enough, but again, if you can't, then there might, all you're doing then is supplementing a little bit of the space with a little bit of like a wrist motion side to side, or even side to side like this, right? But I can put my hand over top, like, okay, first, let me start over. I'm still laughing internally. You can reach an octave, right? So we'll notice that what we're reaching here is a seventh at max. So if I'm reaching the seventh, then my three other fingers can still play these notes in between. Okay? So all I actually need to do is just be able to play this. Play this chord right here. I don't know what it is. Somebody tell me. It's something add 7 or something. I don't know. Whatever. I give up. Oh, it's a C minor, add 9. Whoa, I know music theory. Yo, don't at me. Anyways, so because my hand is over top all 4 notes at the same time, I don't need to do anything funky with like extending my fingers. I don't need to extend my wrist or like move it a lot side to side. What you're doing, it looks like you're like curling some of your fingers and tensing up, and then the other fingers are just like kind of reaching for like the black keys, right? But if my hand is like this, and I'll hold the notes, and I'll go a little bit more slowly and hold the notes because that's what's written. And here I'll shift, right? Right, everything is very localized and over top the same keys. And again, if I need a little bit more emphasis into the top notes, right, I can just allow my hand to rotate a little bit or my wrist to slide slightly this way, right, to nudge a little bit of arm weight out into that note. So. Right, like that. Does that make sense? It's significantly less movement than what you're doing here, and it makes it a lot more efficient. So yeah, it looks like you're like all the way out here, right, on the edge of the key, right? And so when you have the black keys, you're reaching out like this, and then like your other fingers aren't like lifting and dropping like very straight forwardly, right? You're kind of like lifting like this, and then you're like playing the key at an angle like downwards like this. Right? You're like kind of scooping at the key. Remember, like with lifting the fingers. So I think the when teaching students like how to lift fingers, or like reteaching students how to lift and like press keys and like lift fingers and stuff like that, it's always hardest to get them to lift first. But then after you learn how to lift and play through the hand and stuff and like that, right? What you then want to do is be able to lift efficiently, right? And when you're lifting the finger and when you're playing the finger, you're merely lifting from the third knuckle, right? This is a very important concept. Let me try and zoom in a little, right, so that y'all can see. All right, let me pull up my OBS so that I can see what I'm doing. Right. So I'm lifting from my third knuckle, right? Like this row of knuckles here. My finger comes up. It doesn't change in curvature. It doesn't change in shape, right? This stays the same the entire time. It lifts, and then it drops, right? Same with all the rest of the fingers, right? When I'm lifting my fingers for articulation, this is exactly what's happening. Lift from the third knuckle. The finger doesn't change shape and just drops onto the key. That's in essence what is going on every single time you lift the finger. Of course, when we teach, like, oh, lift the fingers, first you have to teach the lifting part because nobody's used to it, and then you have to teach the pressing part, but ultimately, the efficient lift is a lift and a drop, right? You don't change the way the finger is curved. And sure, like, you do press downwards a little bit, but in essence, it's controlling that drop and then adding a little bit of, like, more, like, extra velocity to it so that you're able to press it onto the key. So, what I want to say is, like, if we observe a little bit of what you're doing, you see, again, like, your fingers kind of splay out, and, like, kind of like you come down, but you're like a little bit tense, so then you kind of claw in and scoop at the key, right? Just practice dropping the fingers, and it'll make this much more efficient, much more. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, and here is another matter of controlling the left hand, which is totally fine. It sounds like your keys are very light, so produce a lot of tone with a very little effort. Oh, I lost my spot, but that's okay. Same thing about the chords. Looks like we got through that part. Again, that's a matter of practice, and that's a matter of just like a little bit of cleanup work, but also the things that we talked about already with the chords and like the jumps. Right? I think that's like where you'll find most benefit and most bang for your buck with this arrangement, where you're at right now. Same thing with these reaching up, right? Yeah, make sure your right hand is the loudest thing there, right? Not anything else. So, wow, that was the first time we hit a piano, right? And all this here, you can even slow down a little, right? You can have it peter out. I'm just gonna play what's written here because I'm not gonna try to figure out what you're playing. Right, you can slow down a little and take a little bit of time because it's the end of the piece. Right, but you don't have to take tons of time because if you don't want it to feel like it's there's a ritornado, right? But you can breathe a little, right? And so it's less frantic. It sounds like, yeah, if I were to sum up what the overall feeling of your playing here in this piece is that it feels a little bit frantic. It feels like you're trying to catch, like you're running after a train or something, or like a bus that you just like barely missed, or like it's pulling into the stop and you're like a block away, and you're like, you know, I gotta catch up to it, right? And that's causing you to like kind of squash together lots of notes, right? And also make some of your other like jumps and stuff a little bit inefficient, right? Because you feel like you're playing catch up as opposed to like you're in control, right? You're like about to get kicked off the horse as opposed to being able to ride the horse. You know what I mean? So I would say that's like the main thing. If again, like I'm gonna treat this like you spent the work and you're like, of course, like there's always more practice that can be done, right? But like when you're playing, when you're performing, when you're trying to play in tempo, you just need to think to yourself and remind yourself that you have a little bit more time than you think that you do, and you need to be courageous enough to take a little bit more time than you think that you have. And if you actually don't have enough time, right, you practice with a metronome or whatever, you know that the tempo you want is a little bit too fast, then maybe consider like taking 1 or 2 clicks slower. Because taking it like 2 clicks slower is going to sound better than if you push it at three clicks faster, you know? So that's what I have to say, aside from all the technical things. Just overall feel like you have a little bit more time. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I hope. Let's see how many people are here. Yeah. We play F sharp, guitarist, and he kicked him out. Oh, he was playing G flat. Rip! Yo, what do you play, Troy? What do you play? But yeah, Braze. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully, yeah, that's helpful. Dang. There we go. Pretty nice number of viewers today. 18's not a bad number. For Masterclass. All right. Since you're not in VC. Let me check. Alright. Since you're not in, unfortunately probably can't take like more specific questions about what I explained. But I guess I can open that up to chat too, right? If anybody has any questions about what I just talked about, feel free to put that into chat right now. I'm gonna. Yeah, no problem, Braze. No problem. Thanks for your submission. I hope it was helpful. Do we need to do another a watt flex? Another watt flex? This one's for the people. This one's for the server. Hey, yo, everyone in the server, yo, clip this. Clip this. Oh, we're gonna zoom this one in. You see this? You see this? Look, the zero bicep. Zero bicep, no muscle. I'll show you the way. I'll show you the way to play piano. Yes, rip my 185-pound squat for reps. Alright, here you go. You're ending recording your video in alias? Yes, I can. Well, I don't know when the next masterclass is going to be, because I don't know what the rest of my stream schedule is looking like. Because next week I'm at Anime Expo, and I don't know what I want to do the week after. I want to do something for 20k subs. Maybe like a coffee stream or something. But like, also, I don't know, do people watch that? I want to just do a Q&A video maybe. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, join the Discord when I'm doing another masterclass. Feel free to submit videos and stuff like that, and I can review. Hello Hayashi, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Anime Expo episode for 20k. Hey yo, live streaming from Anime Expo. Yo, somebody. Hey, do we like that? Anyways, yeah. Now that we have more people in chat, who's going to Anime Expo? And I hope Noel. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce. Is ready because we're about to get started on watching your video. Let me pull up your sheets on my tablet. So let's see. Noel. Not you? Rip Hayashi. Dang. Next time. Next year. Weeb? Noel. Okay, gotcha. Hey, I am a weeb. I accept the role. I accept it. I'm a weeb. Not a weeb. Okay. Anyways. Let's begin. Let me change the view over once more to Noel's. So, Noel played Cinderella. we can't communicate. Please wear a bulletproof vest to the expo. I'm gonna get killed by the weebs. Alright, man. Alright, I can... If you just want to text instead of talk, because that's totally fine too, I can also just read your DMs or chats or whatever on Discord. And we communicate this way. But... Alright, let's see. I just need to find a good place to pull it up. Oh. Aoi Koga is an expo? I didn't know that. Yeah, but I will say the trip for me, it kills two birds in one stone because I get to visit my roommate. Former roommate. We don't live together no more because we graduated. But, yeah. Alright, let's see. We'll go after this. Please see. I have like too many monitors. I have like enough monitors, right? You'd think, but they're all over here and not helpful for this. Let's see. All right, this is here. This is. You know what? I'll just. Oh, you'll just fix your mic. Okay, that's fine then. And I'll wait for you until you're ready. But until then. I should break down my dearest. That was my first big video, bro. Already done that. But don't worry, that was before I had 500 subs. So I think who's there? Who's there then? Who's in chat now? Who saw the My Dearest video when it first came out? Let's go, John. Or should we try this? You were my 991st sub. Nice. These chords are like so annoying. In Animens is what's hacking to. Finish the chorus, Noel. I said Noel again. I don't think I have it memorized. Oh, got it. Interrupting SMH. Alright, Noel. Let's do this.
Hello.
Hello! Oh, you're loud. Let me turn you down a little bit.
Oh.
Wait, no, I have you at 200%, so it's my fault. Wait, say something?
Hello.
Oh, still clipping a little. Hold on one sec. Let me turn you down. Not the voice you were expecting. Okay, can you say one more thing? Say hi to the people.
Hello everyone.
Noel voice reveal. If y'all follow Noel, or don't follow Noel, now you know what he sounds like. Alright, let's do this. So what? This is your own arrangement? Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
First, chat. How's he? How are we sounding? Is the volume okay? Do I need to turn him down? I think I do. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? I should listen to my own. Sounds good. Wait. I don't know why I never did this before. Like on YouTube live streaming, you can like listen. They show you a little preview of your own stream. The same for Twitch. I don't know why I just never like watched it before. Preview of your own stream. The same for Twitch. I don't know why. Wait, can you say hi one more time? Say hi one more time. Preview of your own stream. The same for Twitch. I don't know why. Wait, can you say hi one more time? Say hi one more time. Preview of your own stream. The same for Twitch. Oh, I get to hear my echo so many times when I do that though. That's so funny. All right. Anyways, let's just get started. And if you're too loud, we'll just chat will tell me. All right. This is your own arrangement, from my understanding.
Yep.
Okay. So hopefully, again, not an arrangement pro by any stretch of the imagination here, but hopefully I can give some thoughts on that too. It sounded pretty good from what I remembered because I listened to it earlier today. I also only listened to Cinderella for the first time today because I didn't watch Komi Can't Communicate because I have where is it? The first volume of Komi Can't Communicate, the manga. Yes, because I still like physical manga. Anyways, but I decided I was gonna read the series first before I watch the anime. But I need to finish Spice and Wolf first because I'm a very slow reader. So yes. Anyway, I'm 2 volumes away from that. So, Komi has taken the back burner, and so I didn't listen to Cinderella until today, but let's get started. Alright, sick. Oh, let's go, Noel. Reviewed one of your videos last year, too, I remember. Is that like a Origairu one, I think?
I think it was the Black Clover one.
Oh, it was a Black Clover one? Yep. Okay. I don't know why I thought Origairu. Maybe one of your earlier videos was Origairu. But, anyways, let's do this. Why does Pasta know my videos better than I do? That's not okay. Alright, let's start. Yeah, I think I'll say the same thing, right, about these. Right, like this sort of, whatchamacallit. This run here, it sounds like you're a little bit frantic. You're a little bit rushed, right? And so I'm missing every single, right? Like every time you come back down. So if I listen to you can hear yourself, by the way, right? Your video.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, okay, sick. I'm just making sure. I'm telling him to curve his fingers more. There it is. All right. It sounds like you're... Right, you're missing like the ones in between. Does that make sense? So take a little bit more time. And I would still put a little bit more emphasis into the right hand. It sounds like you're a little bit left-hand dominant, which is fine for something like this because you're like coming in with like a little bit of like force, right? But I still think that I need to hear the right hand a little bit more. And especially since you're a little bit loud at the beginning, you're playing like a little bit closer to me, from what I hear. A little bit closer to the forte than it is mezzo forte. At the beginning of this run, I think you should drop a little, right? So, and you can drop to like a mezzo forte, mezzo piano, and then you can hit a true forte or almost a fortissimo here, right? Like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a little bit of like whatever, a little bit different from the OG. I wouldn't know Hayashi. I would listen to it once. overall, just a little bit more right-handed. It sounds like, I don't know if this is necessarily true, but it just sounds like you're thinking a lot about your left hand. Because it's jumpy. I don't know. But it sounds like you're putting a lot of focus on the left hand. I like the emphasis that you put. Right? But it needs to be a little bit more. It needs to have a little bit, like a little bit more drive, I think, on the beats, especially in the right hand. Oh, you're a lefty? Yeah. Sick. Yeah, I have, like, some students who are, like 1 or 2 students who are lefties, but for whatever reason, their left hands are still, like they are less coordinated than their right hands. I'm like, okay. I thought like playing like, you know, these Bach conventions would be easier for you, and voicing would be easier, but like, you know, I guess. Yeah. Do you think he's only using his finger string? I don't think that's an issue. Okay, it is an issue when we get a little bit further, right? But for now, I think just based off what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, I think this is a good foundation to start building off of. Oh, you didn't mean he was left-handed? Okay, never mind. Not left-handed. My bad. My bad, Noel. Alright, let's keep going. I think this, right, can be a little bit softer. Right, because you're going from something soft, right? Right, and you're jumping up very high, so there's naturally there's a natural shift and natural movement that we can hear very clearly. So you don't need to bring that out. You can keep that very soft, and in fact, if you bring it out a little bit too much, right, which I think you're on the verge of doing here, then it gets a little bit jarring, right? Personally, for my preference, I think very little goes a long way here. Oh, I pressed the wrong key. Okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't want a new tab. Just show me. Yes. Yes. That's good. I think this is the way you arrange this is very nice. I like the source of rhythmic emphasis in the left hand. Oh yeah, Hayashi is asking. So the chords are different from the original. I have no idea. Is this a personal choice?
It's more of a personal choice.
Oh, okay. Nice. See, my guy's an artist. He makes things his own. I like that. I like that. Lost my spot in the score. I was like, I'm looking at one spot and I have no idea where I am anymore. Oh, this is pretty short. We can keep going. I'm thinking about this right. I'm thinking about how you can bring that out a little bit better. Since this is a little bit jarring. Right? It's supposed to stand out. It's supposed to sound like a little bit disconcerting because it's not what we're expecting. We're expecting an F natural. So. Yeah, so again, there's a little bit, it's kind of like what I talked about with Braze, and now that I'm looking at your hands again, I don't know your score, so I'm only reading your score, and then I have to look at your hands in the video to know what you're doing with your hands, and I'm going to tell you what to do. Yeah, part of the issue, I think, is I think even if you don't want these notes to all sound like super legato, you should still play them using legato type of technique, right? What do I mean by that? It's like, right, my hands are all still connected to the keys, right? And it's like kind of what I talked about with Braze for like keeping like the hand or like the fingers all over top the same space, so then I just like go back and forth like this. Same thing here, right? I'm like, everything is very condensed over top these 5 notes, right? Because that's where, or this 6 right here, 6 or 7, because that's where most of your notes are. And so, Yeah, I think if you play it with a little bit more legato-ish, right, type of playing, then you don't come from the top, right? Come from above quite so much. Because if you watch yourself and listen to the tone, right, it gets a little bit like even with that D, right? You kind of went down, bounce like this. I'm exaggerating, right? But you kind of bring your hand up, and then you land like that, like that. So if I connect, I have much more control, and I can play that D how I want it to be, right? Like I can phrase it or and like die down like that too, right? But if you're coming from above, you only have one thing you can do, which is just play loud, right? Which is what we kind of hear here. Does that make sense? By the way.
Yeah, I think it also had something to do with the fingering. I think I ran out of fingers when I tried to press E.
Okay, then let me take a look at what you're doing. Yeah, so it does look like, I don't know, it looks like you took like 2 or something. But like, I think this stretch is very, very doable. Because you're coming down, right? Maybe the finger you chose to land on after this, C dominant 7, could have been a little bit better. I personally instinctively land on 3, so then I can just do exactly what I just said, right? All my fingers are over top. So, but this is perhaps like something that you can think about when you're choosing like fingering for like something else in the future. Jumps are difficult because you have to jump, right? And you have to be accurate. But jumps are also a great spot to recalibrate and reset your hand positioning and reset your hand posture to choose a better, more advantageous position to play the rest of the notes, right? So it's like when you play this a few times and you're like reading your own arrangement, you're playing someone else's arrangement, whatever, and you find repeatedly that like you're not getting the right tone or you feel like you're running out of fingers, right? Then where's the nearest jump? Ask yourself, where's the nearest jump? Oh, well, here's the nearest jump. Maybe I can change the finger that I jump to, right? And that will change the efficacy of my fingering. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, just something to think about. You keep going. And same thing for this, right? We're still coming from above a little bit. Yeah. And you can contort your hand a little bit more too. Right, it's like your hand is malleable. It can come together. So, right, and it can also stretch. And I think allowing you to stretch and contract a little bit. I'm not going to go through and look at exactly what fingering you took, but we'll help you feel like you're not running out of fingers quite so much, right, in your right hand. Again, your left hand sounds fine. I like the way your left hand sounds. It only needs to be a little bit softer, I think, so that the right hand can stand out a little bit more. But a little bit more connected so that you can phrase it a little bit better. And so that you can get a little bit more volume out of it too. Without the abruptness of some of the drops. That's nice. Comment there is at the beginning. Nice. Some comment as for the beginning here. Very nice. But that arrangement was quite nice. I actually have no comments on the arrangement itself. I think I would be happy playing this.
I'm honored.
Again, I'm no expert at arranging, but like that's just my opinion. I think it sounds fun and it looks interesting enough that I feel like if I were to sit down and work this, I feel like I would have enough ideas to play with too. So that's nice. Let's take a look at the chorus here. I'm thinking particularly about how you get into the chorus because again, right, we're going from like the verse into the chorus, and the chorus is oh my god. Right, it gets big. basically is the point. And you yourself write a forte here, with a crescendo before. And I don't know if this is intentional, but, and I don't know if you have your own score up, but around, you have a crescendo starting in measure 25. And I'm wondering if you intend for that crescendo to go all the way to measure 28. So you have it start. Oh, is that B flat? Yes, that is. And I'm wondering if you want to build all the way to
well, actually.
Yeah, but basically, still, I think my point remains. It feels like you get into a forte too soon. And what you can do is like, so first thing that I'm thinking about is, overall, right? Where you come into the first verse, right? Instead of having it be a mezzo piano, maybe you can have it be a piano, right? Because nothing else is quieter in the arrangement. This is the lowest point in the arrangement, so you can actually make it a little bit softer than just a mezzo piano, right? It will even if you play it like a mezzo piano, it will still feel like somewhat like a piano because it's the softest part. And so making it an actual piano will give you more space to work with, right? When you want to climb up to the forte, climb up to the fortissimo. So then the next part, oh my gosh. I'm so bad with syncopations and jumps. Or siren. Right, this, you can, like, the way you've written it, you can, like, allow the rhythmic emphases and, like, the parts of the score that's, like, bouncy, and then, like, also the octaves to just carry the volume naturally up to, like, a mezzo forte, or, like, even a mezzo piano, mezzo forte, right? You don't actually need to start pushing more volume until you get to your crescendo. Once you get to the crescendo, then if you stayed, like, at this, like, low level for so long, then you have so much space to get up to. And then you get, oh my camera again, my bad. Then you can come in with a lot of strength, right? And again, this is like the arm weight discussion that I have with Braze. Except it's a little bit faster because you're doing these big jump. But then it becomes the discussion about like pushing in, right, a little bit, going down, and then allowing your hand to come back up to hit the next jump, spraying off your fingers to get to the next jump with efficiency. Like that. Does that make sense? Kind of?
Mm.
Yeah. So basically, all I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is, try to, like, when you're playing the piece, try to have in mind where the peaks are and where the valleys are. Oh, I say this a lot. where are the peaks and where are the valleys? And how wide do you want to stretch those? Right? And before you get into the peak, sometimes it helps to have a little bit of a valley. Just so that peak sounds a little bit more like a peak. Just like what I said with Braze. A roller coaster up here doesn't feel very exciting. Or a roller coaster that goes up and down feels a lot of fun. If you like roller coasters. If you don't like roller coasters, you feel like you're dying, and you don't like that. So, anyways, I like roller coasters. I haven't ridden one in a long time, though. So, Sag. Okay, keep going. Yes, I actually quite like the way that this is. This is a perfect spot to start building. I'm just gonna play the right hand. Right. It literally feels like there's more and more tension, and so you need a little bit of space to build. This spot here, what I would add, I would drive up to that F sharp, right? And even if you don't want this chorus to start in a fortissimo, and you want it to be a little bit softer than this, I would put an accent on that last F sharp so that it feels abrupt and it feels like you come up to something. There's a little bit of suspense because you hang for a second, you know? So you go something like, right? There's a little bit of tension when you feel like you're driving like up like that. Does that make sense? That's
so basically, like, you try to make an impression that there's like a huge forte coming for the chorus.
Precisely. And you're creating that forte, right? It's not like you're letting down the listener, right? because you're filling in that forte with something different. If I'm staccato, right, and I'm creating a forte with staccato, or creating like a build with staccato, then what I'm expecting next is more of that, right? But instead you're filling it in with something smoother, right? And that's what you do. You start holding the pedal more, you play, right? It's a little bit more melodic, it's a little bit more sing-song, right? So what I'm doing, what I'm saying is, it's almost like I wanna bring the listener, like run with the listener, pull the listener, almost like right up to the edge of a cliff, right? And then there's no cliff. It's just like more like I don't know. Have you seen kids like roll down a hill before? I don't know. I was at a place, like some garden place. It was like a hill, and these kids were just like rolling down the hill. I'm like, I don't know. You run up to the cliff, roll down, and it's more fun because you thought it was going to be a cliff. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. It makes sense in my head.
Like you lead the listeners to expect something, but yeah.
Exactly. And so remember, right? Whenever you're playing piano, whenever you're making music, you're creating expectation, and then you're defining expectation. Actually, this is like something that you think about a lot as a songwriter. Or a composer, I suppose, but more so a songwriter, because, I will speak for songwriters since I've been thought more about that space before than, like, actual composition, more contemporary songwriting and stuff like that. You're always thinking about, like, how do I, like, you have to make something that people, expect, if you want it to be popular. People have to be able to anticipate what's coming, because if they can't, and it's too far out of left field, or too, like, weird to them, they won't listen to your song. Like, you just won't understand it. That's why I don't listen to lots of impressionist music. I don't listen to a lot of Debussy, personally, because I just don't understand it. Right? I know a lot of people like it. I know a lot of people love it. But personally, I don't vibe. Why? Because I don't understand it. Right? That's like a weird example. But, like, that's what you're looking for when you're writing a song. But at the same time, you can't make everything expected. You can't make everything able to be anticipated, because then there's no reason to listen to your song. The person listening to it can just, like, fill in the blanks in their own head, and it's just like, there was nothing interesting. So you're always balancing what's, like, creating a sense of expectation and giving the listener what they're expecting, but then also denying them what they're expecting and giving them something else. And this is, like, one of those spots where you're da-da-ba-ba-bum, and you feel like you're about to get something, but instead da-da-dum, ba-ba-da-dum, ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, right, like that. So that's just a little interesting thing, perhaps, to think about. Not just with going into the chorus, right? Sometimes you get, like, smoother transitions, right, from section to section, which is most of the case, I think, most of the time in most piano. But other times you get, like, I mean, you wrote this yourself. You get, like, these sorts of, like, abrupt moments, and you can really play with those. So, does that make sense? Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, sick. Let's keep going. I really belabored that point. That's okay. Are you taking all those octaves 1-5?
I'm using the 1-4 for the black keys.
Good. Some of the black keys look like a 1-5, which is why I asked, but other ones look like 1-4, so I'm just checking to see. I think it'll sound a little bit better if you were able to connect a little bit instead of just up and down. Not because you want it to sound legato, right? Because I do agree, you want, but you're giving yourself a little bit more control, right? Instead of, again, coming from above, you're coming from the side. So for practice, what I would do is I would connect like this, right? And then once I have that feeling, then to get the texture, I'll like lift a little and detach a little instead of just like rotely connecting, and I'll have the same feeling, same ability to phrase, but with a different texture, right? So let me demonstrate one more time. I'm connecting like this for practice, but then I'll detach it like this. So you see that I'm gonna zoom in on the camera. I should have done this first, so then I didn't have to do this twice. Alright, so I'm connecting like this, right? But then, once I'm satisfied with the feeling, then I'll play it like this. And you'll see that I'm doing essentially the same thing. The only difference is that before I play the next note, I've lifted the previous one. Right, so it doesn't sound connected. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they'll just give you a little bit more control. And then, also for the... Right, I would bring that a little bit more. I love walking bass lines, or bass lines that move like that. So I'm just biased. Alright. Let's see, where is it? Alright. I do like the decision to make it dry. You go. I think it adds a little bit of pizzazz to it.
I just wanted that walking bass line to be like noticeable.
Yeah, clear, yeah. But what you can do too is like have the rest of the bass be like what you're playing, right? And to the listener, it sounds like just rhythmic, but then you suddenly bring this up to like melody level, right? That'll also give it a little bit more noticeability. Even if you chose to hold pedal. Oh gosh, sorry. Although, yeah, you're right. Holding the pedal does make it sound a bit more smeared. So, good job lifting the pedal. Let's keep going. I'm back a little bit. What you're doing with your hand here. Yeah, this is a spot where it's like you want the emphasis on the E, right?
Yeah.
Right, or there's a little bit of syncopation. Ruins me every time. Yeah. I'm just being stubborn. I need to play it at least once. Hi Roger, thanks for showing up. What you can do, or what you can think about. Here, let me zoom in on my hand again, so that this will be a little bit better. I'll demonstrate an octave lower just so that I can get a little bit tighter, so you can see what I'm doing. First and foremost, right, I'm going to place my fingers over the notes, so then I can just do what we talked about earlier, which is just play the notes like this. Right. That seems to be what you're doing, so that's good. But in order to get the emphasis on the top note, I need to feel my hand rotate into that note. Right. So it's like I'm turning a doorknob, right? Or I'm twisting my hand side to side doing this. Right. So it's like that's the feeling. I'm going back and forth between my pinky and my thumb. So if I took away all the A, right, the second finger, it would be like that. And I'm just rotating back and forth. I can play it without rotating my wrist, right? But it won't have the same impact. And I can rotate more strongly, more heavily into my pinky, into my forefinger for more of that emphasis, right? So if I did the same for both fingers, I'd be right. But if I voiced the top note, right, you see the difference in how I'm rotating there, and then incorporating the A, right? I just stick the finger back down, right? It becomes one motion, so I'm going to really exaggerate it here, right? I'm coming down, and then I rotate into this, and then rotate back up, right? I'm exaggerating a lot. Of course, this should be used in conjunction with just lifting the fingers like this, right? If I use a little bit of both, then I get a little bit of emphasis, right, into the top finger, and I get a lot more control down here. Because if I'm just rolling down here, right, that's how it's going to end up a little bit smeared, it's going to end up a little bit smushed, especially if I'm trying to play in tempo. So, a little bit of both, right? A little bit of just lifting the finger, a little bit of just rolling the wrist for the emphasis, and then I get right, like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think also when I played this, I think I remember that I have also considered the rotation. I think it may be because of the pressure.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. That's totally fine.
I tend to forget some of the details once I actually start performing.
No, don't worry. Same for me. Yeah, half the time, like the videos I upload on YouTube too, like I've decided that I'm gonna do like this little intricate pedaling here, and I don't do it, right? Because I'm just like nervous when I'm playing. So it's totally fine. But I think this is something though that like can be trained into like muscle memory. Every single time you want to voice something on your pinky and you have a lot of notes, like just feeling like the feeling of weight going into the pinky, right? That's what I really want you to like begin to understand. It's not just thinking about rotation; it's feeling weight go into the finger. Okay, it's not just back and forth. I'm sinking into it. I'm almost able to hold the notes because of how much weight is going into the finger, and being able to control that weight, being able to control how much you put into that key is what will then enable you to develop a better musicality, better tone, right? Once you get beyond just those few notes. So that's my point, but understandable, right? If you're thinking about rotation and you're nervous and you're playing whatever, I totally get that. All right, let's keep going to the very end, to the bitter end, a little bit. Same thing there, rotation, but like weight. That was a fast list, my guy. Good job. Dang, I liked it. Everything at the end was stuff from the beginning, so I don't need to reiterate this. All right, any questions about this?
Oh, so
some of the comments,
around measure 20, 22, like the one with the right hand accompaniment. I kind of wonder how I would be able to really accentuate the F and the G.
Wait. So let me make sure I'm looking at the right measure. It's
yeah, that one.
Oh, you're trying to bring out this, right? This line.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Wait, do you play detached or do you want it connected? I think you play detached, if I'm not mistaken. Well, let me hear Yeah, the whole thing is detached. Alright. Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind, and I think what realistically the most you can do is bring down the top note, right, immediately, and in order to create space for the middle note. The middle voice always struggles because it's neither on top and neither on the bottom. It gets swallowed by everything else. That's why nobody likes violas, because you can't hear the viola. Sorry, violas. I'm kidding. We love our violas. Without the viola, the ensemble sounds a little bit hollow. But the problem is when the viola has the melody, they have to play it twice as loud because the violins swallow them up. Violins and the cellos swallow them up. Right? Which is why nobody likes the violas. Anyways. One of the reasons why. So, it's the same concept here. Right? You really have to create space. So you can come in. Right, and then immediately I am then bringing down this top voice and maybe a little bit this bottom voice too, and really feeling again this is how do I say weight going into this finger, right? I'm pushing in a little bit because it's detached, right, and then it comes like that, right. So if we go back to this. Right, and I can zoom in on my hand one more time, because we're going to apply the same concept here. Alright, gotta adjust the focus. Alright, so here I talked about rotating like this, right? And then feeling like your finger is going, or more weight is going into one hand, or one finger than the other. Right, so we can apply that here, right? Right, like I want to feel more weight going into the thumb than the other. Right, like that. And so what's going to happen is, or in practice, or how it's going to be executed in the end, is because you're not rotating back and forth, you're not rolling these notes. You have to feel that from the outset, right? From while pressing both notes. So I would just go like practice it with like, right, and hold the second note. Right, like that. Maybe even go the opposite way. Like really quickly like that. And then try to put it together, right? Now, I'm being a little bit forceful here just for demonstration, right? It should really be like
Interesting.
Right, quite a little bit more pleasant. But it's feeling the weight go into that finger, right? I think we're more used to feeling the weight go into these fingers, which actually, if you think about it, doesn't make that much sense because these fingers are weaker than the thumb and index. But most melodies are on the upper end of the keyboard, so we're more used to voicing with our weaker fingers, our weaker, lighter fingers than we are with our stronger, heavier fingers. Anyways, this is so random. I thought about it like once, and I was like, that makes no sense. But like, that's what we do. Anyways, but that now you have to feel that go into the thumb, right? Because you're used to feeling that go into these fingers. So, right. So now, right here, I'm voicing the top, and then now I switch to voicing the bottom. Because I've started this phrase, right? Even if I make this quiet, I can hear the thumb, right? Provided that the bottom, that you're not holding the pedal too much, which you're not doing, right? And you're not sparing the whole thing. So it becomes, and I can still hear it, right? I can still hear it. But now I need to introduce that. And so it works. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, sick. Alright, anything else?
Oh, one last thing about.
Yes, sir.
In terms of performing itself, do you have like any performing?
Any performing? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mans did not watch my latest performance video of me failing this game. Yeah. So for performance, I've probably reiterated the same points over like maybe like 10 times now. So forgive me if I'm saying the same things, but I'll just keep saying the same things because I really don't have many more tips other than that. It's just first preparing for the performance. You have to be very comfortable with the piece. I think working through and being able to play slowly by memory is helpful because what you're trying to do, I think, okay, if you have enough time before the performance and you've learned a piece well enough before the performance to do this, then you almost want to practice in such a way that you're trying to psych yourself out when you're playing. Does that make sense? Because like when you get to the stage, when you start recording, whatever, it's like that's when you play through the first measure and then you're like, shoot, what's coming to the second measure? For whatever reason, I never thought about this before. It's always been easy and intuitive. Now you're panicking, right? You're trying to do that before you actually get to that performance. If you have enough time, if you have enough familiarity with the piece. Sometimes you're learning the piece until the day before, right? You can't help that. You just gotta do it and then show up and hope and pray, right? And then I'll get to that a little bit later. But if you have enough time, right, or if you set your deadline late enough for when you're recording, then you can try practicing a few times, psyching yourself out, going very slowly, right, because you have to think more when you're going slowly, and see where you get most nervous, right? What spots do you like lose control over, or just develop some confidence that like even if I am panicking, I know the piece well enough that I can still get through, right? And then that sounds much better. All right, hi Fruit. Thanks for stopping by. Yes. Second thing, when you're actually playing, right, first take a moment, breathe before you start, right? And I would say that know your tendencies, right? Know your tendencies. Do you tend to play fast when you're nervous, or do you tend to slow down? It's weird to me to think that people slow down when they get nervous, because I play faster so I get off the stage. But people do. So you want to know that about yourself. Am I one to push forward, or am I one to slow down? And knowing that, when you sit there before you start the piece, pick an appropriate tempo. Some people, how do I say? It's helpful to do a lot of tempo practice. Like, so before I did competitions and stuff like that, my teacher would be like, "Kill, go to sleep with a metronome by your head, so then you can hear the clicking. So then when you start, you can hear the clicking, and you can start exactly on the tempo, even if you're nervous." And that I don't think I ever slept with a metronome clicking. That would have been annoying. But like that's the sort of practice, right? Like there would be several times I would sit down, I would just try to hear in my head like how fast it's supposed to be. I'll like try to envision myself in that spot, and now I'm like, and then I turn on the metronome and see if I hit the tempo, right? And I kept doing that until it works, right? So then, even when you are nervous, right, then you hit the right tempo, regardless of whether you're a little bit like, you tend to go fast or you tend to go slow, right? So that's what I would say before you start playing on stage. And then the last thing, or that I would say for now, right, and because you asked specifically for tips for performing, but I can talk more about prep. Maybe I should just do a video on it, so then I can just refer people to that video. Because I get asked this so often. But hey, pedaling series coming out soon, because people have been asking. Anyways, I shot all the videos. I just need to edit. Hopefully they're not bad. But anyways, yes. When you're panicking and you're about to lose control, or like you feel like you don't know what you're playing next, sometimes it helps to just think of something random and just let muscle memory take over. That is the one time you can let just your muscle memory do everything, because your brain's not gonna help, right? So there are times when I've been playing where it's just like, shoot, what's the next note? Think about something random. And it'll like kind of swim through a little, and then it's like, oh, I'm back. Right, and then suddenly there's a little bit more solidity and a little bit more foundation. Right, so that helps. And the last thing, this is the last thing. The last thing, the most helpful one, I call them railroad markers. People call them like, I don't know, memory spots, whatever. Have points throughout the piece where you can start at on a whip, right? Like if I said, like, let's say you sat down, right, and you're like, oh, I wanna start at measure 30. You can start playing at measure 30, right? I'm stubborn. That's why I have to play until I get it right. Anyways, hi Jay Chen, thanks for stopping by. That's what I would do. Practice it that way, right? Have a few spots, maybe one every page, or maybe even some unorthodox spots. Of course, the beginning of each section makes the most sense, right? Have at least those. But maybe sometimes halfway through the section, you can just sit down, boom, start, right? You don't even need to think about it. Like that's how much you need to practice it, so that it's like when you do lose control, when you start playing the wrong notes, you have somewhere to jump forward to. Always jump forward, don't jump back. Right? you don't ever want to get stuck in this cycle. Also, it's better to swim. I call it swimming because my teacher called it swimming. It's better to try to swim through a section than to necessarily jump, but at some point you need to make that call. If it's like too bad, then whatever. You know how it is. But some people are just better, right, at swimming through sections. For me personally, I'm not very good at playing all the right notes when I'm performing, but I'm good at swimming through the section when I'm playing the wrong notes until I start feeling like I'm good again. I don't know why. That's just how it's always been. That's what happened in this game video too, right? Like I had no idea where I was going. I just kind of like doggy paddled my way forward until I was like, oh, here we are. And this is one of my railroad markers, right? It was one of my railroad markers. I can't do it anymore. Something like that. I don't know. I need to practice again. See, it's always a matter of practice. But once I get to those spots, right, then you regain your footing and you regain confidence. You need those spots throughout the piece so that whenever you're panicking, at the very least, when you get to those moments, you have something solid to latch onto, and then you're able to just get yourself back together and keep going. So I think honestly that's the best advice. And I've told this story like at least again every single time I talk about railroad markers I've told this story, but I guess I haven't talked about it in a little bit, so there's new people. The first time that I really learned this concept was I was mid audition. I was playing Shostakovich Prelude and Fugue in A minor, and I got halfway through the fugue and I just stopped because I had no idea what I was playing. And the judge was some like kindly old man. He was like, it helps if you have railroad markers, so then you can just jump to spots. And he's like, you can start over. I was like, I failed the audition, but this man was nice enough to teach me a lesson. So, I don't think I've ever felt worse, but I don't think I've also learned a more important lesson in performing. So, there's that. Alright. Does chat have any questions? Does chat have any thoughts? Yeah. What do you hear? You have beautiful. If you listen to a recording replay. Rip. But yeah, that's why you practice, and that's why you record what you practice too, so you can get better and you know what you're doing. Andy, thanks for showing up. And thanks for stopping by. Red Potato, thanks for stopping by. Yes. Review priors your 40 hours. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, thanks Noel. Thanks for submitting a video. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully, you have certainly gotten better since the last time I reviewed your type. So that's a big thumbs up. You're making progress. And I'm very proud of you. So, and your arrangement is quite good too. So I'm very proud of you for that too. Make more arrangements. Play more. Yes, you're doing well. You're doing well with that. Yeah, but all right, sick. I'm going to transition this back to this. Nice, and I'm gonna transition. Yeah. All right. Sick. Disconnect. Cool. All right, team. Yes. Hey, Javi! Thanks for stopping by. I'm very pog. I appreciate that. I hope I'm pog. That's yeah. But where's my water? All right. Yes. Well, hopefully, this masterclass was not just helpful for the two people who's playing I reviewed, but it's also helpful for you as well. I know that like most of these things, and I think I say this a lot. The people like. When I get more submissions, right, I choose like wider variety of like skill levels and stuff like that. So I've reviewed Fruit's playing before. You all know Fruit. Hopefully, I reviewed like other people's. I forget, right? And some people are more beginner, some people more advanced, right? And with each level, we talk about different things. But what you'll find with a lot of the things that we discuss, it's really just different applications of similar concepts, or the same concepts, or a more advanced application of the same concept. Right. So in one discussion here, we talk about like keeping the hand close together, right? A little bit more compact for a little bit more efficiency. In another discussion, we can talk about how the wrist or like how we rotate to create musicality while keeping the hand compact, right? Or how the playing economy, right, of keeping the hand compact, or maybe when a little bit more splayed out of the hand is more beneficial. But overall, right, when you're starting off, more compact hand is more helpful, right? Because people tend to splay out the fingers like this. So hopefully, like, even if there were some points that were reiterated or points that you've heard before on this channel, like, hopefully that's still helpful to you because it's a different application. And that's what's difficult, right? That's what's difficult about learning. This is why I was bad at physics, even though I was a physics degree, physics major, physics and math. It's because it's like, you can't just learn the problems, right, from the textbook. You can't just learn what they teach you at lecture. You have to learn it well enough that you can apply it to a new problem. When you show up on the exam and the numbers it's not just the numbers being different, the scenario is different, but you have to derive like the answer from what your pre-existing knowledge is, right? You need to know it well enough that you're able to then apply it to something new. That's what makes learning difficult, right? So, and that's why I keep saying the same things, because it's difficult. And I don't feel bad about saying the same things. So, anyways. Yes. Yeah, no problem, Noel. Thanks for submitting a video again, and thank you, Braze, for submitting a video as well. Go follow them. I don't think I'll put their links in my description, but if someone wants to throw them into chat for me, that'd be absolutely sick. Mods, please. Why is your teacher points out your mistakes to get better? Hey, every teacher should do that. Every teacher should do that graciously and kindly. That's the goal. Hey, and I'm learning how to teach better too, right? I'm always looking to up my game, but Fruit Eternal 130, yes sir. Yes, no problem, J-Chan. Thanks for stopping by. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect makes perfect. What? When did I say that? Don't quote me on things that I haven't even said. I'm messing. But all right. Well, thank you everybody for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, this is the first WattKeys Masterclass in like almost a year. Yeah, we got pretty decent viewership, which is nice. I'm gonna turn down my music a little bit more just because it looks like music. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so hopefully I can do more of these in the future. Do I smoke? I do not. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully I can do more of these in the future. just because I know it's helpful to all you guys. But I think, given that there were very few submissions this time, it's a little bit depending on whether or not we get more submissions next time, right? So, yeah, just to keep things interesting. Anyways, yeah, I'll be at Anime Expo next week. I've said this twice already, this stream. So if you're gonna be there, let me know in my Discord. Join my Discord. Yes, people do have to submit. It's not really submit, but it's like, you have to be in my Discord and you have to put the link into video submissions. Just because I want to be able to filter a little bit. Yeah, I don't just want like random videos to come in, and I want to be able to talk, right? I want to be able to coach you through the piece, right? As I'm streaming. That's like what I did with Noel. I keep saying Noel. I keep saying Noel because of Noel Dazel. Anyways, I will do my best to stay safe in California. Yes, I will be in a convention full of weebs, so I'll have the power of God and anime on my side, which is fantastic. Yes, I need to plan what I'm doing, so that'll be fun. Oh my gosh. Wait, what the... Alright. Anyways. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. And thank you for 20,000 subs. I really appreciate that. Look forward to hopefully some community posts on like questions about what we want to do for 20k subs, because I still have no idea. Oh, follow me on Twitch. I have a Twitch stream now. For whatever reason, but I stream like much more randomly and much more sporadically on Twitch than I do here. Like, this is for now educational purposes, so like these sorts of things, reviews, like, you know, Q&As, those sorts of things. But Twitch for me is for gaming, if you care about that, but also for more of my practicing too. Just because it's more like more informal, and I feel like I don't need to make a thumbnail. I don't have to do all those things. I can just hop on the stream. So stop by there, check me out there. Give me your Twitch primes when I'm an affiliate. I'm kidding. Join Discord. Discord, sometimes I stream there too. I do all my anime type streams on Discord. So Twitch is all the random streams. YouTube's all the educational piano streams, and Discord is all the anime stuff. So join my Discord. And also you get to talk to me about things. And see when these things are about to happen. So, but anyways, thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate you guys for 20k. And I will see you whenever I see you. New video this week. I think you'll like it. I think you'll like all my videos, but I think you'll like this one. Anyways, see you guys. Ooh.